Hey, this is Joey Vera from Motor Sister, and you're listening to BackstageAxxess.com.
Hey, this is Chris with BackstageAxxess.com, and we've got bass player Joey Vera here with us today to tell us all about his exciting new project, Motor Sister. Well, thank you for taking the time to talk with us today. How are you doing?
I'm doing good, thanks. Thanks for
Now, you've got a new project that you're involved with, Motor Sister, and it's just a really cool and unusual project, how it came about, kind of like a birthday gift kind of to Scott Ian. Can you tell us a little bit about how it all came together?
Sure. Last January, not this past one, but the year prior, Scott was turning 50, and his little girl wanted him a birthday bash, and he said that he just wanted to have, a small party at his house, and he said one of his dream gifts would be to be able to play in, to reform this band, Mother Superior, who we were all kind of fans of, fans of at the time, but were defunct at the time too. So he said, I would love it if somehow we could get Mother Superior back together and play at my party, but I want to play in Mother Superior. I want to play the song with them. So they brought the idea to Jim Wilson, who is a close friend of ours, and he was like, of course, would love to do something like that, but I guess they changed the idea of reforming the band with the other members because they weren't really working together anymore.
Okay.
They said, well, what if we just, what if I put together a band for you, Jim, and you play in it with us, and we play your music. So he said, I'll get Joey to play bass and John Tempesta to play drums, and you and me will play guitar, and we'll have Pearl sing, and Jim said that would be great, so that was how the decision was made to get the party. And then they sat down and Scott picked his 12 favorite songs.
Okay.
And it just kept rolling from there. And all basically, I knew 90% of the songs already just from being a fan of the band.
Right.
So we all learned the tunes. We rehearsed once the day before the party. He has kind of he had a little jam room that was separate from his house. And we went in there and we played the songs pretty much once or twice, and we had so much fun doing that, by the way.
Right.
Just jamming the songs in rehearsal was great. And it was like we had been playing for years. It was the weirdest thing. We showed up and started playing the tunes, and it was like we were a band. It was really weird.
Okay, so there was instant chemistry going on with this music from the start then.
Immediately, after the very first song.
Cool. So how did it develop from this jam session for Scott's birthday to, cutting a record for Metal Blade?
Yeah. Well, we played his party, and there was only about 20, 25 people there. And it wasn't a huge thing to do, but whoever was there was completely blown away, and we were blown away too, just because it was performing for your friends sort of in a way, and everyone was drinking beer. It was super casual and loose, and it was wasn't playing a gig really. It was just having fun, and we just had a blast, and the vibe in the room was just incredible. Everybody was completely blown away, and a lot of our friends maybe weren't familiar with Mother Superior, and so they were like, wow, this is just incredible. What is this? And one of the people in the audience, one of the guests was Niels Lozauer, the photographer, and so he's been a Mother Superior fan for many years as well. So the next day, this was a couple of days later, it was like a Monday. He's friends with Mike Faley over at Metal Blade Records, and so he called Mike and he said, "Mike, you should have seen this thing I was at on Saturday night. It was incredible. It was just, Scotty and blah, blah, and his friends, and they jammed with, just played this Mother Superior music, and it was, you should really think about doing something with them, And so, my wife also works with Metal Blade, and so she, he went into her office and says, "Hey, why didn't you invite me to this thing?" I can't believe, kind of one of those things. And she's like, "Well, I don't know, we're just like the friends, and it's like not a big deal, and it's not serious, And he said, I don't know, this thing could have a life, or something. And so she came to the band and said, "Hey, would you guys consider making a record?" And we were just like, "Wow, well, hell yeah." It was so much fun, and we had such a good time doing it. And we're so proud of, we're proud of our friend, basically Jim, for being such an awesome guy and a great songwriter. And we wished that the world could hear this band, Mother Superior's music, because we've been following them for, I've been following them for maybe 8 years or so, but Scott's been there even longer. And we just wanted to kind of took this as an opportunity to help spread the word,
Sure.
So at that point, once we decided we were going to do that, we said, well, if we're going to make a record, it has to be in the same, we have to do it the same way that we did the party. No, no taking 3 months to make a record and
right.
making it perfect and overdubs and, all this kind of stuff. So we made a conscious effort to just literally, I think we rehearsed once, and then we went in the next day and we recorded the record live. In 2 days, we did 12 songs. There were 6 songs one day and 6 songs the second day. And no overdubs, no fixing stuff. We probably did, it was like it's one take, and it probably played the song 3 or 4 times at most. And that was it. And, so the record has this live energy that you won't get by doing it any other way. So that was the only way we were going to do this. And I think the end result came out great. Jay Rustin, the producer, did an amazing job of capturing that. And it's been a lot of fun. It's been really fun. We don't get a chance to make records like this anymore.
Right. Now, you guys just recently played a gig in Brooklyn, I think last week. How did that go?
It was amazing. We played Thursday night, and it was just great. We rehearsed twice for that, once in LA and then once in New York, and it was great. We played this great club called St. Betty's in Brooklyn, and it was like, Scott and Johnny they're from New York, so they have a lot of friends in that area. So it was just a bunch of old friends and people that we know from the business, and tons of fans came out because we got a lot of press on the show. And
right.
So it's great. It was a really, really good vibe, and we played great. It was fun. It was so much fun. And
there's a couple more Motor Sister shows coming up out on the West Coast. Is that right?
That's right. We're playing at the Whiskey in Los Angeles, March 10th.
Okay.
And then we're playing at the DNA Lounge in San Francisco on the 11th, the next day.
Okay, very cool. Do you think there's any possibility of the band, everybody kind of getting together with Jim and maybe putting out some new music?
Yeah, we've already talked about that. We talked about that quite a bit more, in fact, on this last trip, as we were all together for a week, basically. And yeah, we all want to, and Jim already has riffs that are flying around that we're going to start putting together. And we still are going to do this like in the same spirit as we did it in the first place. We're not out to like say, here's this opportunity to, I don't know, sell records, and
right.
We're going to do whatever it takes to become huge.
Sure.
We're still going to do this, obviously Scott still has his priorities are with Anthrax, and I have a new record coming out with Armored Saint, and
Right.
exploring kind of still involved with that, and Jim has his stuff with Daniel Lanois, and Pearl's working on her record, and et cetera, et cetera. So it's important for us to kind of keep this as what it is and still fun and stuff.
Sure.
So the thing with writing is that we can always do the writing when we have downtime, and we often have downtime, maybe not all at the same time, but we all have downtime one time or the other. And we all live in Los Angeles, so it's easy for us to kind of get together and write a song here, write a song there. And we intend to do that over the next 12 months. So,
Okay.
and hopefully along the way too, we can try to put together another kind of a weekend thing where we go out and play someplace in the Midwest or down south or in Texas or whatever,
Sure.
So.
Yeah, that would be cool. I wasn't really familiar with the music of Mother Superior until this project came out. So I think it's going to do a lot to kind of just get, their name out there and what they did. And it's just, it's just excellent music. I don't know why I wasn't familiar with it, because after you listen to it, you're like, wow, and the album, of course, that you guys did this time around is great, and you mentioned that it was Scott's kind of favorite songs. Was that the same idea for the record, or did Jim kind of have some input on what went on the record as well?
Well, the songs on the record are the exact songs we played at the party.
Okay.
So, yeah, and I think the list definitely started out more than 12. It was probably more like 20, and then it was like, okay, we can't play 20 songs, and that's just maybe too much work, We want to keep this fun and not work,
Right.
So I think between Jim and Scott, they kind of whittled it down, and Pearl was probably privy to those conversations too. They probably whittled it down to the 12 that are on the record.
Okay.
And when we played live, like when we played Thursday in Brooklyn, we threw in an extra Mother Superior song that we didn't play at the party. So, because we kind of needed like one more song. The set's literally like 45 minutes. It's so short.
Okay.
So we learned one extra song called Rolling Boy Blues, and it's another great song. But there's so many you could do.
Right.
These guys have 9 records out, so it's
Sure.
not to pull from.
Now, you mentioned too, if you want to switch gears for just a second, that there's a new Armored Saint record coming out. So can you tell us how that's coming along?
It's going great. It just finished being mixed 2 weeks ago, and at the moment it's being mastered, and it's due for release on June 2nd.
Okay.
Metal Blade.
Okay.
And it's called Win Hands Down is the name of the record, and it's killer. We're very excited about the record. The songs are all great. So it was also it was mixed by Jay Rustin, who did this Motor Sister record, and Jay's been a friend of mine for a long time. So it's great. It's really cool. In fact, Pearl sings on a song with John Bush. She sings like a duet with him, and it's just totally killer. It's a heavy tune. It's not a ballad.
Okay.
It's awesome.
Cool. We'll be looking forward to that. And I know Armored Saint also has a few tour dates coming up as well. I think you got some shows coming up with Saxon, and then a London date this summer with Queensryche.
That's right.
And any plans to for a larger tour and support once the new record comes out?
We don't have anything booked for that yet. But the record comes out at the beginning of summer, so it's a tough time for us to go out.
Right.
Unless you're already locked into something. So we're doing 6 shows in the Saxon, spread out between East Coast and West, and then we're doing a festival in France right after the record comes out in June, and then August, late July and August, we're out there for about 10 days, and we're doing these Queensryche shows that you mentioned. We're doing 3 or 4 of them, and we're also doing about 3 or 4 festivals in that time too. So it's about 8 to 10 shows during that time.
Awesome. Well, we'll look forward to that as well. the new Armored Saint record, this killer Motor Sister that's out, and we'll look forward to some more shows maybe put together with that we can check out. And of course, we'd all love the possibility of some new stuff coming out as well from both projects. I mean, heck, great music is great music, and we're all looking forward to hearing it and seeing it live if we get the chance.
Great.
And thanks again for taking the time to talk with us today. We do appreciate it.